Sometimes we need a way to communicate with remote services or machines. For example, if a service or machine is misbehaving, this would require us to log in and issue the command. However, you may have forgotten the command or the parameters, or worse, you accidentally enter in the wrong command on a production system. To avoid these issues, AYS allows you to codify and run administrative commands from within the app. Introducing the Node API. The Node API allows you to communicate with any service or machine remotely. Now you can codify processes that heal, configure, and update your systems. AYS provides a powerful API with no constraints to make HTTP requests, sign in using SSH, or issue database commands with any Python-supported library. In this example, I'm going to show you how you can remotely update the firmware of IoT devices. First, let's go to a node that has some IoT devices that need updating. I have 10 devices on my home network that need to have their firmware updated. Let's go into one of the devices in my home network. Here we see a property that contains the device's IP address. I'll show you how you can use that property to send a signal to this device. Going back to the home node, let's update some firmware. Now I will execute an API that allows me to send commands to my IoT devices. AYS shows me the status and logs of each device that was sent a firmware update. Let's take a look at the script. A Node API may have parameters, a required name, and a function. In this example, we need a firmware file that a device will download. However, we want the user to select from a list of supported versions. As you saw in the previous example, I was presented with a list of firmware options. This is done by configuring your parameter, in this context, the version parameter, to return a list of options from a data source. Here, I use a Python function. You are not limited to a Python function. You can also download options via HTTP, MySQL, or Postgres. Check the docs for more information. Now to the function body. First, we query for the node's children. Then we iterate over each child, grab their respective IP address property, and send a firmware update. Now imagine you need to update, configure, or heal hundreds or thousands of services or machines at once. AYS now gives you the power to automate and codify administrative commands using the Node API.